Hello and welcome back again for the second part of why you should choose international or public schools. So last week I spoke about the public schools and I gave you some points, reason as to why you should choose to go to the public schools and why some people do that. And so today I just want to talk more about why you would choose international. So why choose international schools? So one thing I need to probably clarify for you guys is we have three sections of these international schools, let's say. So the first one is the public international schools. Those are fully funded by the government. And then we have the private international schools. Those are not funded by the government, they are private, so you have to pay for them. Then we have the European schools. Those are also kind of like international. So you choose whichever section you want to go to. For the European schools, you have to pay. The European school, you have to pay. It's not free of charge. The only people who do not pay are those who work for any EU organization like European Investment Bank, I don't know, EU something, anything that is dealing with the EU. That is fully free. The concept of the European schools is because, you know, this is EU, so we're in Luxembourg. I think the schools are all over in any part of Europe. So in Luxembourg, for example, it's very international, you know. So we have people from different parts of Europe, different countries within Europe coming like to live in Luxembourg. So the idea of the European schools is to ensure that, for example, if you're from Latvia, if you're from Lithuania, if you're from maybe German or France or whatever, in the European schools, this is the idea. If you're Latvian, then you go and study in the Latvian section. If you're French, you go and study in the French section. If you're German, you go and study in the German section. The idea is to even if you're out of your country, but your children to still experience the schooling like in their country. So the kids will go and study in German. Everything is German. They talk about the German culture, German everything that they study. It will be like as if the kids are studying in German, but they're actually in Luxembourg, which is really very good. I like it because it ensures that kids do not forget about their culture. Kids can, you know, learn their mother tongue, and it's a very good concept. But it's mostly for the expats or the people who work with those European organizations. And if you want, it's also for the other public. If the public you want, you have to pay, which is also quite very expensive, but I mean, people can afford it. And these are some of the reasons as to why some people choose to go to these international schools. Now that you've understood the three sections of the international schools here, these schools are meant to allow pupils, students who have less chances to succeed in the traditional Luxembourgish system to integrate at a school which teaches them in their dominant language. So the whole concept of this thing, sometimes, for example, like I can give an example of me. Maybe I'm from Uganda and I'm come to work in Luxembourg, and probably my kids, let's say they already started school in Uganda. So when they come here, now imagine someone who's already, let's say, like 12 years, they're already probably in primary, like 6 or something. Then you come, your parents maybe get a job and they move to Luxembourg. And then now if you're to go into the public school, it is going to be a little bit very difficult for that child to integrate. Most of those ones who are like already like halfway towards their school, almost completing primary or whatever, it's very hard for such children to integrate, because now you have to start to learn the language. Then the 3 languages you have to learn them in order for you to be able to study in the public schools. So sometimes these kids really struggle a lot, and you can see that the children are really struggling. So the government felt the need that, okay, for certain situations, because our country is bringing in so many experts, so many people from different cultures. So the government felt that it was time probably to create these international schools in order to help children like this, because sometimes it's really hard. So this is really good for these situations, and you find that these kids, for example, if you're from Uganda, you would be better off in a school that is speaking English. If you're maybe French, it would be good to go in a school that is predominantly French. So it's very helpful for the kids, you know, to speak in their comfortable dominant language. So that's why we have the public international schools, which is funded by the government of Luxembourg, which is good. This is really something that I really appreciate the Luxembourg government for introducing. It shows that they are growing with the times, because they see that their country is inviting so many people from different countries. So they felt the need, you know, to find a way to make everyone feel, like to diversify and, include everyone in their country. So I really appreciate the Luxembourg government. Then the other thing, for example, let's talk about the European schools, on the other hand, with their different language sections, which I explained to you, allow the children to learn in their dominant language as well. The language that they speak at home, for example, French, English, and German are the language sections that are offered, and in addition, other languages like Portuguese, Spanish, and Italian are taught. So this goes to I explained already about the concept of the European schools. So this helps, for example, I told you the kids, if you're coming from Italy, you'll be able to go and study in your mother tongue, in the mother tongue that you use at home. So this is really, really good. I like that. Then this international schools allows for diversity, and it enables the children to adapt to the local circumstances or to create an attractive offer for people potentially wanting to move to Luxembourg. So, for example, let's say you're searching for jobs, you're not in Luxembourg, the first thing, if you have children, you'll be like, okay, what is the education system? What can I do? How is it going to be for my children? Am I going to kind of like disorganize my kids, disrupt their routine and stuff like that? So when you're looking for a job, or if you've gotten the job, the first thing as a parent that will come to you. So these international schools that have been that are here, it enables, like for example, for such people who are looking for, because Luxembourg would want for lots and lots of expats to come into their country, which is a good thing for them. So if they're able to create this kind of situation for these parents, to enable that they're able to move and they have a free mind, knowing the kids are going to come back to these schools and they'll be able to, like to flourish and to succeed as well, the same way that they would have done in their countries that they come from. So this it makes it much easier for parents to make decisions when they're deciding to come to Luxembourg. Any organization that you're probably working for, let's say you're in France and you're working in maybe a bank there or whatever, so your office decides to do some kind of like secondment, like, to move you from France to bring you to Luxembourg because there's a project that you have to do. So some of these people, they just come for a short period of time, you don't come for a long, you can come like, maybe I'm coming for a year, and then after a year, I have to go back to my country. So this kind of situation enables these people who have children to come knowing that their children will be able to integrate, If you're for example, you're in France, your kids are studying in a French school. So if you come to Luxembourg, you just take them immediately to a French-speaking school. So the syllabus will be the same, everything will be the same. So your kid will not kind of like struggle, to integrate, to adapt, and to flourish in school. So it will be easy for them. So some people come for a short period of time, so they need such things, because in the public section, I don't think you'll be able to distract the children a lot. So it's very important that you kind of keep some consistency. So this kind of schools, international schools, they were created for such situations, because there are so many of these kind of people who come for a short period of time. That has been at a European school can continue in one of the European schools elsewhere in Europe. Often the parents' concern is that they don't know how their child can continue their education when leaving the Luxembourgish system. The establishment of these schools meets the needs of flexibility and mobility for these parents, as I've already explained. Research indicates that having a strong mother tongue foundation leads to a much better understanding of the curriculum, as well as a more positive attitude towards schools. So it's vital that children maintain their first language when they begin schooling in a different language. So as you've heard about the mother tongue, in most cases, it's very important that children study in the one language that they are used to. For example, like at home, you speak, let's say at home you speak English, then it's easier for these children to, when they're starting school, to go and continue in the same language that they use at home. Research shows that children learn better when they are taught in their mother tongue. However, it's not always possible sometimes. So these are the mother tongue makes it easier for children to pick up and learn other languages. So for example, if at home we are speaking English, and the kid is really very, you know, fluent in the English, they understand English very perfectly, it will be much easier for them to learn the other language. Yeah? Instead of having lots of languages at the same time and the kid is not like perfect in one. But if the kid has that one language that they're really good at, then it will be much easier for them to adopt other languages. Then the mother tongue develops a child's personal, social, and cultural identity. That is true. Using mother tongue helps a child develop their critical thinking and literacy skills. Research also shows that children learning in mother tongue adopt a better understanding of the curriculum. I already spoke about that. Skills learned in mother tongue do not have to be retaught when the child transfers to a second language. Children learning in mother tongue enjoy school more and learn faster due to feeling comfortable in their environment. Self-esteem is higher for children learning in their mother tongue because, I mean, you're comfortable in your language, so you can speak. It's the same thing with us as well. For example, if you, I know my sister is always telling me, like sometimes when here my husband may want us to tell him a story that I've just told my sister, like in the mother tongue. But it's always very different when I'm telling the story in English and when I'm telling the story in my mother tongue. When I'm telling it with my other tongue, I feel more comfortable. Like you give those examples, and like, you know, it kind of like rhymes very well. But when you choose to now like the other language that you're not comfortable in, it's not the same. So there's something about you being comfortable. Like there's something about people being. I think you all experience that. Like you feel so confident, you feel like, yeah, this is my language, so I can really explain myself. And there's that pride, that self-esteem that is built when you're speaking a language that you really feel comfortable in. So, and then parent-child interaction increases as the parent can assist with the homework. That, you know, for example, yeah, if that has always been my issue. I want to be involved in my kids, like if they have the homework, they have, I don't know what, I want to be as involved as possible. So, you know, you kind of like build some kind of like, you know, strong unity with your child, because, you know, that's like your thing. So it's very important, you know, to have that kind of the language. So that's the reason for the mother tongue. So yeah, those are some of the reasons that I could come up with as to why you would decide to take your child to the international school. But the major one that I've already spoken about is the fact that some people come here in Luxembourg and they're not here for a long period of time, because, I mean, they don't plan on living in Luxembourg for a long time, so they plan on living. So that's why majority, at least most people that I've spoken to, that's one of their reasons. I'm not here for long, Sophie, so I don't see why I should take my kid to the public school. I want to go somewhere where it will be easier for my child to integrate in the other place that I'll be moving to. So yeah, these are some of the reasons that I could come up with. And if you know you're living in Luxembourg, and you have more reasons as to why you can share in the comment section, and yeah, we learn from each other. So yeah, guys, this is it for international schools, public schools versus international schools. I hope some of these reasons will make it easier for some of you already here and you have children and you're in that dilemma, you know, like I am. But yeah, so that's it. That's it. Thank you once again, guys, for watching. I really appreciate that. And for those of you who haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, comment, share, and share, and share. Let's grow this channel. Thank you. Goodbye.